Hey guys, it's Nick from This here. I'm excited to bring you today's video. It's going to be my wish list for characters I want to see in Kombat Pack 2. It might seem a bit early since the first Kombat Pack isn't fully available yet, but I want to throw my hat into the ring before any official announcements. There have been some leaks, however to me they don't seem all that credible, plus the character choices are not at all what I want to pay for, so I'm really hoping these supposed leaks are fake. Here's a list of characters I would love to see make their way to Mortal Kombat 1. To start off my list, a 3D era character we haven't seen in a long time and that deserves a spot is Kai. He hasn't been in any of the NetherRealm Studios era Mortal Kombat games yet and only has appeared in 2 installments of the entire franchise. I always thought Kai was underrated, and if they revamp him and gave him the same love they did with other 3D era characters this game, he would be a hit. Kai does exist in this timeline, being mentioned by characters in intro dialogue as Master Kai. So it's assumed he's a Shaolin Master this time around, and I'd love to see what they could come up with him to make him more unique and less of a Liu Kang clone gameplay-wise. Kai was originally going to have a handstand fighting style, but due to time restraints this didn't end up happening, and instead he was just given a handstand special move. I think that would be a really unique way to implement him this time around, focusing more on his acrobatics, kicks, and fighting while on his hands. I'd be okay with him utilizing fire again, so long as they make the way he uses it more unique to him. I think Kai would be a great fit for Kombat Pack 2. Hotaru is another interesting 3D era character who also hasn't had a presence in the NRS game so far. He's a general from the Order realm who had a rivalry with Havik in the past. Considering Havik is now an anarchist from the Order realm as opposed to being from the Chaos realm, it makes even more sense to include Hotaru in the game. He's the perfect definition of lawful neutral, upholding law and order with the utmost importance while brutally punishing any who defy it. His original design is a bit goofy, so that's something NRS could definitely start with. Either remove the flags altogether or make them much smaller. Personally, I like the full suit of armor he wears in his alternate costume and wouldn't mind seeing the redesign revolve more around that look. NRS should probably refine his moveset a bit more, as his attacks were always kinda random and not exactly the most fitting for his character, although I did like his ability to control lava, so maybe they could do some more with that. Also, give this man some good fatalities. Judging by the post-credits scene from Mortal Kombat 1, I think it's safe to assume that Havik will be the main villain of the story DLC expansion, so why not include Hotaru as a character to fight against him? Skarlet is one of my favorite Mortal Kombat women ever since her first appearance in Mortal Kombat 9. It was great seeing her return from Mortal Kombat 11, and she was a lot of fun to play. My main issue with her is that she had no story relevance whatsoever, so it would be great to see her have more of a role in this timeline, and I'm interested to see what Liu Kang did with her this time around. Being able to control blood is such a cool ability, and the way Skarlet pulls it off is unmatched. I've been gunning for a Natara and Skarlet rivalry for years now, and this is the perfect game to finally make that happen. Skarlet honestly doesn't need many improvements, just change minor details from the 2 appearances she's had, give her a fresh kick-ass design, and she's already perfect. I loved her voice in MK11 and would like to see the actress reprise her role if Skarlet makes a comeback. V from V for Vendetta is a guest character I would love to see in game, and he even perfectly fits the theme NRS went with in the first Kombat Pack: brutal comic book characters from their live action adaptation. V is a very cunning and skilled fighter and a poet of sorts. His dialogue alone would be epic to hear, and if they could get Hugo Weaving to reprise his role for V's voice, it would be so worth it. V is a cold-blooded killer, fighting for his own political justice, and is just overall a really interesting character to me. The badass ending to his movie proves to me that he's built for combat, durable bastard, and can take down just about anybody with his knives and martial arts skills, even while being filled with bullet holes. To me, he's perfect for this game and fits the theme to a T. V is definitely a better choice for masked killer with knives than old Ghostface, in my humble opinion. Michonne would be an amazing and fitting first female guest, and continues the theme for live-action comic characters. We saw Negan in Tekken 7, so Walking Dead characters in fighting games isn't as crazy as it might initially sound. With her badass katana and pet walkers, she's a shoo-in for Mortal Kombat, and Michonne has never shied away from killing humans. She's definitely in for more of a fight here than against the walkers, but I think she's up to the task. She's a very recognizable character, she has a new spin-off show debuting this year, plus Ed Boon recently confirmed on Twitter that they had talked to Robert Kirkman about including her in the past, before they decided on Omni-Man. Why not both? Walking Dead has collaborated with Fortnite, Tekken, and a few other game series too, so I think this is actually pretty possible. I've mentioned Buffy the Vampire Slayer and The Bride as women guests I'd love to see, but the more I think about it, the more I think it's unlikely, as neither of these characters have had video game crossovers, to my knowledge, and Warner Bros. Lowballed Buffy's actress, which led to the deal falling through. Who better than Michonne? Doomslayer is the perfect guest for Mortal Kombat, and I will vouch for him until it finally happens. I've talked about this possibility lots over the years, and the last video game guest we've had was Kratos in Mortal Kombat 9, which that needs to be fixed ASAP. Doom and Mortal Kombat ran the 90s, both being huge controversial games due to their over-the-top violence and gore. Doomslayer has so many badass kills and moments, it would be honestly really hard to only pick 2 for his fatalities. He has a huge arsenal of guns, a chainsaw, his bare hands, and his crucible sword. He doesn't talk, so they don't need a voice actor, and they could give him both his new and classic designs for costumes. Gear could be his helmet, or possibly even a shotgun. I really can't stress enough how great of a choice he would be, and the Doom developers even teased the idea of it in the past with Ed Boon via Twitter. I can't think of a video game guest, or guest in general, that fits better and deserves the spot more than Doomslayer. So those are the playable characters out of the way. Now I'm briefly going to talk about cameo fighters I'd like to see in Kombat Pack 2. It would be perfect if Kintaro was the playable Shokan in Mortal Kombat 1, especially since Goro and Shiva were playable in the last 2 games, and Kintaro hasn't had his turn yet, but I could see him being a great cameo too. Kira is someone who could benefit from being a cameo. She's kind of forgettable, and I doubt we'll see her playable this time around. NRS could revamp her character while still keeping some references to her original, and give her badass deception design a graphical makeover. I'd love to see Kira in next-gen graphics. Ash Williams is a guest that I obviously want playable, and I've discussed this topic many times now. Bruce Campbell talked about why Ash in Mortal Kombat 11 didn't work out in an interview, where he says he was hoping Ash could be more of a cameo sort of deal rather than his own fully fleshed out character. Well, yeah, this isn't what any Evil Dead fan would want. I'd still take Ash as a cameo over never seeing him in Mortal Kombat period. He could have some great moves, throw in some one-liners voiced by Bruce, and give him a badass fatality, and boom, he's the best cameo in the game. Ed talked about the possibility of guest cameos in the past, and I think Ash is the perfect candidate. The infamous Suhao deserves a spot as a cameo, if you ask me. Ed Boon hates this character, and Suhao has constantly been the punching bag of the fanbase. I think it would be funny and interesting to see him again in the form of a cameo. The problem with cameos is you don't want to lock popular characters behind these small roles, as fans will just complain and wish that they were playable instead. At least if they go with Suhao, we don't have to worry about these complaints, and I'm sure most of the fanbase could enjoy the meme side of this choice. Who knows? Maybe NRS could even redeem his character somewhat. Going off what I just said about obscure characters as cameos, we can't forget about Mortal Kombat's legendary Meat. I also don't expect to see him playable ever again, so why not shoehorn him in as a cameo? It would be hilarious seeing a fleshless body running around in game, and Meat has enough unique attacks to be included for sure. I'd be interested to see what NRS could come up with for his Fatal Blow and Fatality. That's been my Kombat Pack 2 wishlist. If even some of these characters make the cut, I'll be an extremely happy camper. Can't wait to see what NRS has in store for us, and let me know your wishlist in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, this has been Nickfamous. See you later.